Yo, what is up, guys? It is the man in the can, it's Super Pigman here today with another video, and today we're going to be talking about some actual new things in the Outer Worlds. Since I have finished the game now, and I know mostly a lot about certain areas, I decided why not do a lore episode on the Groundbreaker, the main ship, or the part in the middle of the story where you spend a lot of time on this ship. And probably for those completionists out there, you spend a lot of the time on the ship. So let's first start off with the history of the Groundbreaker. Now, the Groundbreaker was relatively first flown by Chief Guayu. I really suck at pronouncing names. I probably butchered it, but that is the great-grandmother, or that's the grandmother pretty much of Chief Junie. I'll just say Junie. And so pretty much this has been passed down through about 3 generations or so. You know, it's first her grandma, then her mom, and then, you know, now her. And in case you guys don't know, Chief Junie is kind of a lesbian. You know, she's kind of homosexual, in case you guys didn't know. That's just a little piece in there. But let's keep talking about the history of the Groundbreaker. So Chief Junie gets the boards and talks to the board that put a lot of investment into her ship, and she wrote out an agreement that says that pretty much the Groundbreaker would be independent from the board, and the board can have no control over them. And you'll even see it in some of the terminals on the spaceship when you go and do the quest, where you go and help Ginny get the radiator working so the whole entire ship doesn't melt apart. And you see it there that pretty much her grandmother kind of established the whole entire independence thing, and they really established it after the, you know, all the the entire colony, like settlers, they all got off the ship, and they kind of just went around and started settling, and they decided that they wanted the space life a lot more, so they decided to stay in the ship. And then the board tried to get more control over them, and you can see it in the Chief Guia. I really suck at pronouncing her name. You see it in her terminal logs that she explicitly says that she had it wrote down, and if they try to infringe on it, there would be repercussions to them. And pretty much how, you know, they even got into the you know, the whole entire colony area, Hasleon, or yeah, I think that's how you pronounce it, Hasleon. I suck at pronunciations right now, guys. So pretty much how they got there was, it's according to the, you know, customs officer that's there, whose name is Corporal Leonard Wheeler. He is the guy that pretty much tells you a lot about the history of, you know, the Groundbreaker, and he tells you that the Earth at the time, after they discovered the skip drive, were, you know, selling out stakes that would prove probably a possibility of life being, you know, added out there. And he pretty much goes over that, how this group of, you know, a bunch of companies all came together and they like bid on this one place, and now they're like kind of choking it out. But the Groundbreaker has maintained its independence. The Groundbreaker is pretty much just the middleman. It got them there, but, you know, they weren't really going to support them anymore. The only way they do support them is pretty much in the way that they are like a major export-import type of station. And also, in case you guys don't know, Chief Junie is just barely taking over. Like, I don't think she's been in like commander spot for that long. Her mom passed away when she was chief engineer, and now she's taken over the helm. And it seems like there was a lot of problems, but, you know, you end up helping her. And it seems that, you know, the Groundbreaker was it's kind of just barely making it by, even though they tax a lot. And Chief Junie refers to this as, like, you know, they have a lot of independence, but the board is purposely trying to, like, just kind of like get that control figure back over the Groundbreaker. And Chief Junie, you know, as I mentioned, she's a homosexual, so obviously she isn't going to have any kids per se. Like, you know, she isn't going to give birth unless they do like some sperm donor type of thing. But, you know, if she ever does have a kid, she would make that the next commander, and it's kind of works like that. And it's kind of cool in a way, but also the Groundbreaker also has its own police force called the Mardettes. And the Mardettes are pretty much, you know, the people that keep everything in order on the ship. They're not like the corporate soldiers. The corporate soldiers are on their own, and the corporate soldiers actually got an embassy after, Junie struck a whole entire deal with them, and they became a liaison, and, they kind of are just there to kind of be like the middleman type of thing, or try to keep an eye on everything, and try to even get a more of a stranglehold on them. But, Junie tells you outright that they're barely making it by. They don't have enough money to do anything, even though they're, tariffing on a lot of these like imports and stuff. It's kind of hard for them to make money in general, and they just don't have it. But that is the lore on the, whole entire Groundbreaker situation. Hopefully you guys do enjoy. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, and peace.